as we continue to wait this thing out in Cleveland.
Heavy rain at this point, maybe some gusty winds. The core of the hail looks like it'll stay just south of Madison County, but again, very close. You see Highway 421 has popped up on there. So again, Sand Gap would be close to the path for this particular cell. Kingston is looking to be south of this, so again, that's getting up into Madison County. So for you folks there in Rockcastle County from Mount Vernon northeastward, this is a tornado warning that is in there for you. The situation this afternoon, if you've been outside, it's not hot, it's not humid. So you're thinking, where's all this energy coming from? And it's not even so much the energy that's available, that's marginal. But we've got an area of low pressure, which by itself has rotation to it. So the storms that are forming, they're forming, and a lot of these have been actually bending back to the northwest. And so what that indicates is, again, that these storms, once they get an updraft going, that they can indeed begin to rotate. And so for that warning, for that reason, this warning has come out from the folks there in Jackson. A tornado warning is going to be in effect until 5 o'clock there for folks there in the southern part of Estill County, Jackson, and Rockcastle counties. For safety, we tell you about the duck method. Again, this is what we talk about with the kids at Weather 101. So it's a time not to panic. Kids may be, some teenagers may be home by themselves. And again, over the years, we've talked about this. So you know what to do, guys. You get downstairs. House has a basement, you get to the basement. Otherwise, you just want to get to the ground floor. Beyond that, the U in duck is under. You get under something that's big, that's heavy, that's sturdy, something that can protect you from flying debris. We suggest a big, heavy table, if you can get under a couch or a bed, or get inside a bathtub. That's something that, again, can protect you from the stuff that's around. It's the center part of your house. That's the C. What that is use the walls of your house as layers of protection. The more of them you can put between you and the outside, the better your chances of getting through the storm just fine will be. So again, we're talking interior bathroom, a closet, a hallway in the middle part of the house. At my house, I send my wife and daughter under a staircase that's into the middle of the house. It goes down to the basement. So we've got all three of those covered right there. Finally, the K is keep. You keep away from doors and windows, sources of flying glass. You keep your head down, and you also, if you can, keep a bike helmet nearby. But again, for you folks there in our warned counties, and we'll come back to those for you, Estill, Jackson, Rockcastle, you guys should be doing your safety measures right now. And again, this is going to be a warning that's going to be up there until 5 o'clock. For a storm that we have been tracking as it came out of Pulaski County, we watched the storm blow up, and as it did so, it's produced hail that has been pushing severe weather threshold. It's had the tornado warning or tornado possible signature even during the severe thunderstorm warning. And of course, remember that a tornado watch is in effect for the entire area until 8 o'clock. So again, it's an interesting weather day in the fact that, again, it's not a classic tornado setup, but one where you've got a lot of shear available within these storms. So again, 5 o'clock for this particular tornado warning. It's for the cell that is trying to come out now of the northeastern part of Rockcastle County. It may clip very well the southern part of Madison County, where we're just continuing with the severe thunderstorm warning at that point. But again, we're looking at that storm as it's headed now into the northern part of Jackson County. See folks there, especially around Sand Gap, be aware that that's coming in your direction. And we're, again, trying to get everything centered up here for you. So the storm is not yet to Highway 421. What are we looking at there, Seth? What's the, that's not our max track.
No, this is the next rad. It gives a little bit more of an indication of where the rotation could possibly be. Yeah. But go ahead and put the max track back on.
Yeah, let's keep it.
There you go.
Because that gets us basically up to the moment where the storm is. And again, this is not a classic supercell setup, but it is this case where this has been coming to the northeast, but there's some signs that the storm's going to want to turn a little bit more to the north. And so again, that's that shear that is available. That's getting very close to Highway 421 at this point. But again, there's a little bit of a left turn with this. So again, you folks in Berea, you're getting a lot of heavy rain at this point. At this point, you have a severe thunderstorm warning in Berea. We will keep an eye on that to see if that's going to try and rotate back around. Can we go ahead? Actually, I'll take you over on the max track here. And with that, something I want to take a look at. Why don't you get that centered up there, Seth? I'm going to go over here on the max track real quick. You got that?
Go for it.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to take a look at the velocities there. And as we do that, back up one more here for you. There we go. All righty. Again, with our velocity display, and this is going to be coming out of the Weather Service office at Jackson at this point. We haven't set the max track up for that. So it's going this way and that way. So again, just updated right here. So again, there is sign that there is some rotation, at least a broad sense of it, not too far from I-75, maybe a little bit to the east of US 25 there in the northern part of Rockcastle County. This is still south of Berea. So again, you've got wind going that way, wind going that way. There's your counterclockwise spin. And again, where the reds and greens come together here, and that's going to be over the northern part of Rockcastle County. That's where our greatest danger lies at this point. So that's where we are looking at with this particular cell. We come back to the regular reflectivity display. It's that what you see right in there. It's, again, north of Mount Vernon. Again, getting awfully close to the Madison County line. So there's your tornado warning back on the screen. And again, that's going to be for southern Estill, northwestern Jackson, and the northern part of Rockcastle County. That's a tornado warning until 5 o'clock. So again, you're wrapping this back in around. So that, again, that's where it was matching up with the velocity display where there was call it gate-to-gate shear, where you've got winds, again, going different directions right next to each other. And it's going to be in that little notch with that storm there. It's still just to the east of Highway 420, or excuse me, to the west of Highway 421. Again, this seems to have a little bit of a northward tilt to it. So that's why I was wondering if this storm might be turning left a little bit. Go ahead and put a quick loop on that if you don't mind, Seth.
Sure.
Just loop it for the last hour or so. So let's see how this is moving. It's kind of quick for you here. There's a nice little slower version. So again, watch it coming up this way. And again, it is trying to turn more left up into Madison County. So don't be surprised if that warning gets extended or moved into the southern part of Madison County at this point. And again, that goes with the tornado warning that extends from I-75 there in Rockcastle County through Jackson up into Estill County. You see how that then fits in with the severe thunderstorm warning that's over Madison County. See folks there in Berea, you don't need to be in shelter yet, but have your action plan ready to go so at a moment's notice you can get there and get there quickly. Because again, this storm does look like it is taking a left turn more toward the southern part of Madison County. Now it may pass a little south of Berea or a little southeast of Berea, but it's in an area that's close enough where we're certainly keeping a very close eye on that. Regardless, the tornado warning will continue for another half hour or so, and that continues on into Jackson County. And again, with storms like these, it's not going to be a damage path, even if a tornado does occur, because there's only been a radar-indicated potential for this storm. It's not going to be, for the next half hour, there's a tornado sweeping across Rockcastle, Jackson, and Estill County. Most tornadoes, the average lifespan is less than 10 minutes. Most of our tornadoes, the lifespan is a couple of minutes. And that's it. But in those couple of minutes, those in the path, lives can be changed. So 5 o'clock again for this warning expiration time as the cell does continue to move. Certainly wind damage is a possibility on the leading edge of this, crossing 421 there. That's getting predominantly now into Jackson County. And then we're going to wrap the winds back in like that. And again, there may be a little sign of rotation trying to get in to southern Madison County. So bottom line is, this is a storm that we will continue to keep your track on. We've talked about the duck when we're rating tornadoes, and most of what we see are the low ends here, the EF0, the EF1. You see the corresponding wind speeds with that. Now, even if you are in a manufactured home, a mobile home, zeros and ones can do catastrophic damage, which is why we always advise you to get out of those structures at all costs and try and find shelter in a permanent structure nearby. And hopefully you've had that action plan in place beforehand. You look down the list, and again, the stronger tornadoes, which become increasingly rare for us, but again, remain possibilities. The West Liberty tornadoes were in the 3 category. We're coming up on the anniversary of the Masterson Station tornado in Lexington. That was back 12, 13 years ago now. That particular storm rated, this was before we had the EF scale, it was an F3 with winds of about 150. So again, just for comparison's sake. But again, most of our tornadoes are in this lower end category, which again, the damage still in a manufactured home can be catastrophic. A more permanent structure, the damage isn't as severe, but again, still can indeed occur. We're looking at Estill, Jackson, Rockcastle until 5 o'clock. But again, southern Madison County, you're at least close enough to this storm that you need to be on extreme guard with this, as the storm does look to have a little bit of a left-hand turn to it. I'm going to go back over and take you all the way back to the velocity display. Again, just wanted to see what's going on with this, so we're doing the analysis on the fly here. Seth, Jill, you anything on socials?
No reports just yet.
Nothing? Okay. All right, so as we're looking here on the max track, again, you were seeing going away, going toward. So there is some convergence of that, and it's going to be right about at the Rockcastle, Madison County line, and that's going to be to the southeast of Berea. So again, you're in the knobs there between Highway 421 and Highway 25. So that's going to be the northern part of Rockcastle County. Again, there's a lot of wind with that storm. That's the brighter green that you're seeing showing up. But again, there's certainly implications that there is indeed some rotation out there. We continue to track this potentially tornadic storm, at least for the next little bit. Have we also heard anything from Jackson? Have they updated anything?
No, not yet. No updates there. No updates from Louisville either.
All right, so as we are looking at that particular storm, and again, what we're looking to see is if anything is trying to twist and turn. Now, we've popped, I'm going to show you something here real quick. This is what's called the threat button on our, off of the, and just had a little update there for you. With that, it's showing, again, the possibility of hail, but there was also some areas where there was some higher winds trying to show up. So again, it was actually back just south of Berea there along 75, where again, it's showing the potential for some stronger winds showing up. That's one of the things that we continue to look at here. So again, the possibility that the storm is tornadic, it's not, again, going to be a continuous damage path if it is even occurring at all, but what it is doing is at least has the ability to have some rotation to it. And with that going on, you are looking at the possibility of, again, the possibility of some winds here. Again, we're showing winds that are right at severe weather threshold at that 57 mile per hour range. So again, there's at least some interest in this particular storm, but again, nothing has been confirmed. There has been no reports of touchdowns. Not anywhere, even wind damage reports that we're hearing?
No, nothing just yet. Just getting continuation of the tornado warning.
Okay.
It's 5 o'clock.
Bill, I'm going to go ahead and get a squall line on this to give you an idea. It's a 45 mile per hour moving storm itself, and it's going in that northeasterly direction. So if we put a little bit of a line on that and extend it out northeast, kind of gives you an idea of when it should be getting to certain communities. And there you go. There's your list right there on your right-hand side of your screen.
Oh, we got to get you on. Actually, I've got you on the radar here. So,
oh, I'm sorry.
1 second, and now repeat what you just said.
Okay. Yeah. So we have a squall line, a little tool that we can use in our system that basically can give you an idea of when a particular cell can reach certain areas if you know the speed of the storm. Going about 45 miles per hour in a northeasterly direction. So putting that in, you're looking at getting to around the Sand Gap area, 4:45, so not too long, maybe about 5-6 minutes from now, and then all the way out to Irvin. If it keeps its strength and its shape, you're looking at about right before 5 o'clock. It should be wrapping in the door for Irvin.
And I'm not sure. I mean, I know they're saying it's going 45. That was what the report had.
That was the last.
Seems awfully quick. As we've been watching this, it seems like it's not been moving quite that fast. So again, that would be getting to the end of the warning time at Irvin at 4:58. Sand Gap right there along Highway 421 is where the storm, at least the leading edge of this, is right at the moment. Again, we were watching that, the notch that we're seeing, you saw it, that really did turn left and is headed on up now into Madison County, but there's been no continuation or any kind of additional warnings into Madison County. The storm may be beginning to lose a little bit of its updraft here. So here we sit at 5 o'clock. Jill, while we're sitting here and working on stuff, on the weather bug camera, see if you can swing the EKU camera off to the southeast there. So find the Eastern Kentucky Center for the Arts and kind of look a little bit to its left, and we'll see what we can find there for you. So again, we're going to try and look from Richmond, although it's looking through rain, so we may not see a whole lot there, but we'll see what we can come up with. So again, you're looking there, 421, right about at Sand Gap at this point. The storm is located northeast of McKee, moving to the northeast. Now they're saying 45. Again, that seems a little quick from what we've been seeing. Also, the beginning to expand out in this whole the storm itself. So it may be losing a little bit of its organization as it continues pressing to the northeast. So again, Irvin, you are not included in the tornado warning. Berea is not included in the tornado warning. McKee is not included in the tornado warning, but Sand Gap is. So again, you're there along of 421. That's a storm that we continue to warn you for. Strong winds will at least remain a possibility with this as well. The possibility that brief spin-up tornado does exist. And again, this is going to be continuing until 5 o'clock for you this evening. There's the bigger picture again. So again, got Sand Gap highlighted for you. There's Highway 421. It looks like a lot of this is beginning now to get across 421. Now, you still can see some strong winds on the back edge of that squall line as it comes on through. The little notch we're seeing is already headed up toward the Bluegrass Army Depot, moving in now on Kingston, passing east of Berea. So the storm itself is trying to get now into the northern part of Jackson, now the southern part of Estill County. Again, there's not a real well-defined hook at this point. as we are looking at this. It's right now that looks like just a nice bow echo that has gotten itself going. We're seeing that arcing shape right in there. And again, damaging wind gusts will remain a possibility with it. At the apex of the bow, right in there is a possibility, and sometimes you can see a little bookend vortice at the top end of a bow like that, where you can see a little brief spin-up tornado, and that's actually getting into Madison County with it. Again, Estill, Jackson, Rockcastle County is pretty much going to be out. I'm taking it all the way back to the wind display. And again, you notice how that area of shear that we were looking at, that's where the reds and greens were coming together, how it was sitting in northern Rockcastle County a few minutes ago. It has now worked its way, it's almost into southern Madison County. So again, for you folks there, again, just on the east side of Berea, be really, really, really aware of your weather situation. Not saying there's anything going on there. Again, there's severe thunderstorm warning for you folks, but again, nothing else has been indicated. But again, where you're seeing that green and red right next to each other, that is an area, and it's not particularly strong, obviously, but again, it's a sign that it may be trying to tighten up. We are going to continue to watch that area getting into Jackson County. Again, you're not seeing a whole lot of potential rotation there. Maybe a little bit there, 421. Just either side of 421, but again, it's not a real good signature at that point. So the strongest of the winds are certainly in northern Rockcastle County with this, and that's feeding into the back edge of that bow that we were showing you. Again, a brief spin-up tornado is going to remain a possibility here for the next 15 minutes or so. Rockcastle County, looks like you're pretty much going to be out of this warning at this point, although technically the warning still extends back into the county, but it's in Jackson County, southern Estill County. And as you're looking for a severe thunderstorm warning, that heads in then to the southeastern corner of Madison County with all of these particular warnings that are in place. So again, that's in effect until 5 o'clock with the tornado warning. Got the, is that from Madison County? Mm-hmm. So with that, I can show you where we can pop that. All righty, let's do that. Are we on radar? Good. Keep that where it is. Actually, flip on over to the max track for a second. I'll put that back on radar. And off. All righty. Let's do EKU. And good to go.
Good to go.
All righty. And bring it back over to source one. Let's see if we can find it here. He says.
A lot of rain, Bill. A lot
of rain. That's exactly what we have, is a lot of rain showing up. Oop, had it right there. There we go. So we do get eastern Kentucky here, EKU. We are looking off. In fact, if you can take that a little bit even to the left to give us a little bit more of a southeastern. Oh, hello there.
We'll bring it back up.
There we go. Let's talk about the duck method. And again, that's for kids, for everyone, how we explain to be safe in a tornadic weather situation. You don't panic. You've already hopefully thought of what your severe weather plan is, and so you can get to your safe spot. Your D and duck is downstairs, lowest level, basement or ground floor, whichever you have going there. You get under something big, heavy, sturdy, something that can protect you from flying debris, and that's the danger. It's the stuff that's flying around. When you take a piece of wood or rocks or anything that's moving at 100 miles an hour, that becomes exceedingly dangerous. So these big, heavy objects are what can protect you from that flying debris. The center part of your house, the walls of your house are actually layers of protection. Think of them like a blockers on a football team. They are helping to keep the bad stuff from getting to you in the middle of the house. So again, it's an interior closet, it's a bathroom in the middle of the house, it's a staircase that you can get under in the middle of the house. And finally, K is keep. You keep away from doors and windows, sources of flying glass, and also you keep your head down and you keep a bike helmet handy and nearby if you can. So again, from Eastern Kentucky University, now we're getting a little more of a southeastern look. Again, you've got the low-hanging cloud deck here. Obviously, it is raining, and in Richmond itself, it is just rain with the possibility that the storm has a little more going for it as we look down even a little bit to the east of Berea. But again, you're getting the heavier rain there coming in. That's when you're talking about Richmond. So again, right there, we're right smack dab in the middle of moderate rain at that point. We're getting now closer to the edge of the warning here with the cell that has been warned for. So again, you're getting a little bit of a breakaway with that line. Remember, we had actually at one point a little bit of a hook coming back at the back edge of that. We're beginning to see that line expand out a little bit and accelerate away. So again, it's the crossing 421 Sand Gap. You've got some pretty strong winds likely going on at this point. The strong winds could get close to McKee, but keep in mind for the tornado warning, we're not talking McKee at this point, but that's now beginning to cross into the southern part of Estill County. For that storm, again, Irvin not included in the tornado warning, but obviously if you were taking your storm here and moving it north, and again, turning a little bit to the left, if the storm were able to maintain strength, Irvin would eventually be in the path, but at this point, not in the tornado warning in Irvin. So again, if you also have weather call and you live in Irvin and you're wondering why you didn't get a tornado warning call, well, it's because it doesn't include you at this point. It does include the southwestern parts of Estill County, northern parts of Jackson County. For folks in Rockcastle County, you're out of the warning at this point, and it's a severe thunderstorm warning back into Madison County. So again, these storms are rotating. They're in a high shear environment. So again, even though it's not a classic hot, humid day, and again, it's a day where you are looking at these storms, the updrafts get going, they encounter the shear, and that gets the updrafts able to start spinning. And with that, brief spin-up tornadoes are a possibility. As we talked about, we're not talking these big plains tornadoes that you see these pictures of. These are brief spin-ups that can cause damage, and if you happen to be in the path, the damage can unfortunately be catastrophic for some. But again, we're looking at that cell, which again is losing some of its definition, at least from what we're looking at, back southern Estill, northern part of Jackson County, and we have gone to back here to the MaxTrack Live. And again, I want to just give you another look at the live picture with this as it approaches the southwestern corner of Estill County. Go ahead and give me the storm-based velocity there.
Yeah, there you go.
And again, we're not seeing much in the way of potential at all. There may be a little spin there in the northern part of Jackson County. There could be a little vortice up there, southern part of Madison County. That was one of the things that we were looking at. But again, you got some certainly, first thing, when there's a tornado warning, we're telling you, you don't go out on the porch with your camera looking for it with your cell phone. You don't do that. But if you were under this storm in the northern part of Jackson County, right there, again, that's getting even about 5-6 miles north of a 421 there, close to the Estill County line, you would probably be seeing some very broad rotation. Nothing tight, but you've probably got a wall cloud that's lowered down, and there's probably some very broad rotation with that. Potentially from that, a brief spin-up could indeed occur. We are seeing at least some degree of shear, where you're seeing the bright green. I mean, you've got a couple of pixels of bright green right there, and at least 1 or 2 brighter red pixels showing up. So again, that's a sign that there's a little bit of tightening here, and we're talking again the northern part of Jackson County. This is going to be still many miles north of McKee and even north of Sand Gap, and so this is going to try and clip eventually the southwestern corner of Estill County. But if you can come in here, in fact, go ahead and zoom in on that. It's on the MaxTrack, on the fast track there. That area, northern part of Jackson County, right in there, perfect. So again, you're seeing some of the bright green pixels right there, right next to red. And again, it's not an overwhelming amount of shear, but again, if there's at very least there is a broad rotation taking place there. And actually, that's only half mile wide. So there's the latest image that came in from Jackson. Again, you're seeing the potential greens and reds next to each other, where there is indeed the potential for at least broad rotation. Perhaps a wall cloud has come down from that, and that wall cloud may have some rotation to it. Again, we're just about now into the southern part of Estill County, so you've got, just orienting you here, you got 421 and Sand Gap. We are way north of there. Big Hill there as you're getting back into Madison County, you see up toward Kingston. That's over the depot. Again, there may be a little vortice back here, but again, the area we're concentrating on is just there at the Jackson-Estill County line. Again, it's not a classic signature, but it is one that we do continue to track. So with that in mind, for another 10 minutes, if they're going to keep it going the whole time, tornado warning, Estill, Jackson. Again, I'm surprised I haven't pulled Rockcastle out all that, but again, Rockcastle, you guys can stand down. Areas around Roundstone, the storm has gone by you at this point. Damaging wind gusts certainly is going to be a potential. See how that's bowing right through there again. So what's happening now as we're looking? So again, remember we're looking at the velocity display. It was right in there. It was right in that little notch right there at the county line between Jackson and Estill County. So what's going on in here? You've got a little downdraft that's come in behind here. See, that's making that bow out like that. So that's pushing that part of the storm out. Damaging wind gusts are going to be a possibility, straight line winds, with that arc that's in the northern part of Jackson County. Where you're seeing that little bit of a notching now coming in. That's where the downdraft's being sucked back up toward the updraft. And with that, that's again where your brief little spin up, if it occurs, is where it's going to be. Not saying one is going on, but again, the potential is there. Thus, the tornado warning for the next 9 minutes. That's going to be extreme northern parts of Jackson, southern part of Estill County, again, not including Irvin at this point. And this, again, is sliding a little bit to the east now of Madison County.
No, really the only updates that we've had so far, Bill, is that the severe thunderstorm warning that's behind this now. You're just talking about how Rockcastle should be out of it. They are. But that little spot that you see just north of Berea, kind of off to the west, southwest of Kingston, that area is still considered inside of the severe thunderstorm warning. It'll go away at 5 o'clock, but they're still talking about possible 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-size hail with that storm.
Yeah, that's the little section that broke away. We had this part of the storm then accelerate with the updraft. And again, that's beginning to tighten up a little bit. So we're seeing a little bit of a hook triangle. So what these storms will also do, as we've seen this over the last half hour now that we've been talking, we've seen it go through some life cycles where it will make a pretty good appearance like this. It likely, again, has some damaging winds on the front edge. You're getting a little bit of a hook on the back edge of this system, and then that begins to wind itself down for a little bit, but then it gets another little burst of energy, and we can reform these cells over again. Again, this is not going to be anything long track. This is going to be a brief spin-up type, but regardless, it can still do the damage. Again, the radar scan again is showing that little bit of a hooking taking place there. We're going to go back over to a velocity display again just one more time. Just wanted to bring that back to you. So again, it's right where we're looking. So you've got toward and away, and there is your potential for rotation right in there. Again, we're in the very rural area, southern Estill, northern part of Jackson County. So this is well away from Sand Gap, well away from 421, still well away from Highway 52 as you're getting up into the central part of Estill County. But that's the area of greatest concern at this point. And so again, that cell is headed in to folks there into a southern part of Estill County. Tornado warning for another 7 minutes. And again, you're seeing it out here on the max track. The bowing there, that again is the potential for some wind damage. If this has anything tornadic with it, if it has any spin, it's right there at the Jackson-Estill County line. We're going to wait and see in another couple of minutes if they're going to be extending this watch or extending this warning past the 5 o'clock hour. But again, this is still to the southwest of Irvin. So again, folks in Berea, you've got what may be a damaging wind or a hail threat between Berea and Kingston. That may be more than just heavy rain at this point. But the damaging wind threat will continue in the northern part of Jackson and southern Estill and even almost into Lee County. But again, that little bit of an arc right in there. That, again, is the greatest threat that we continue to see from this storm as it tracks to the northeast. So the tornado warning does last for another couple of minutes for southern parts of Estill County. We're hoping this is going to be the one and done with the warning situation. And, of course, LEX 18 News at 5 coming up shortly. We've got a lot of good folks there in Estill and Wells Jackson County that can get us information. So if anything's going on, we will be getting that to you.
Got an update, Bill. The National Weather Service has said that they will expire this tornado warning at 5 o'clock, so it does remain until that time.
Okay, so for producers in the booth, we will join LEX 18 News at 5 right on time. So with this warning, which lasts for another couple of minutes, we will again be hoping the storm just continues to wind itself down and they don't see reason to extend the warnings. Again, keep in mind, it still has a damaging wind threat to it. Southern Estill County is now where that little bit of a hook is located. And again, at this point, they are looking at expiring this warning coming in at 5 o'clock. So again, just a couple more minutes left with that. The potential for severe weather is going to exist. A tornado watch is up basically area-wide until 8 o'clock. And as we're talking about, this is not a classic severe weather day. It's not hot and humid out there. What there is, though, is an area of low pressure coming up, and that area of low pressure has provided a ton of shear. So the atmosphere wants to spin today. So any of these storms that can get going, and we had some sunshine. That sunshine was a bad thing today because that did give us just enough energy to create the thunderstorms that we've been seeing today. You can see even how this line is beginning to break apart. So again, the atmosphere is not totally conducive to maintaining these storms once they do get going. But again, that's where you're having at least the possibility of a damaging wind gust right at the apex of that bow there as it is plowing in with a downdraft rotating back in behind that storm for another couple of minutes. Just in the southern part there of Estill County, the northern part of Jackson County, that does continue the tornado warning, which is until 5 o'clock. The bottom line with this storm is that it has continued to move to that northeast direction. It will be turning a little more to the north with time. And again, with the entire area under the tornado watch, it's something that we'll be keeping very close tabs on here for the next couple of hours. That tornado watch goes until 8 o'clock this evening. Areas north and west, which include Lexington, that's just rain at this point. Other storms have gotten going away from that mass of rain up more to the north and northwest of Lexington. But again, the severe storms, at least the ones that have been pushing the severe limits, are coming out of Jackson County as well as into Estill County. Yeah, that storm, it's interesting. When the storm was out here and we saw that one piece break off to the north, and that's what's sitting now up around the depot. Now you've had this secondary development and how that piece is now breaking off to the north. So that's the shear that's involved with us for the rest of this afternoon. Here at approaching the 5 o'clock hour, again, we'll be bringing you LEX 18 News at 5.
Updates just saying that now the severe thunderstorm warning also around that polygon will also go away at 5 o'clock.
So again, we're seeing the demise of that cell at 4:57 here. I think what we're going to do, producers in the booth, if you've got a break to take. Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're going to let the warning expire here at 5 o'clock. LEX 18 News at 5 will be following shortly. And with that, we'll continue to track these storms and have an update for you in just a couple of minutes.
Time flies when you're having fun. Woohoo!
We want to thank you, Lexington, for inviting us into your home for the last 15 years. From windows to siding and doors, Window World remains